minutes. So with that, Molly.
Thank you. Am I on? Am I on? I'm on. I'm on. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for that great introduction, and thanks so much for the honor and opportunity to be speaking with you again today. I spoke last March, and when I was here in March, we were talking about everyday sacredness was the theme for that month. And so the theme for this month is all about unity in action. And unity in action is one of my passions of the heart. Everything I do involves angels at the foundation. I communicate with angels, I connect people with their angels, I help souls cross over that maybe have left this world without prematurely or possibly with suicide and they need help connecting with the light. I also help people discover what their life purpose is, what they've promised to bring forth to this earth. And absolutely every one of us that are walking on this earth right now have agreed to bring forth some gifts of the heart. And they're all magical and wonderful and powerful. Not one gift is less important or less valued than another. And so I absolutely love to help people connect the dots and put together all of these little synchronicities that get flowed before us by the angels. I love to help people connect those dots and find out, what is it that I'm doing here? Why am I here? And how can I help other people? We've all heard that saying that it's better to give than receive, and I have to tell you that my life absolutely changed 100% when I decided to begin spreading my light in the world in my own special way without saying, what's someone going to do for me in return, or is anyone going to notice what I'm doing? I just decided that I'm just going to do this, and my life has absolutely changed. So what I'd like to talk about is about becoming an earthly angel. And last month, or in March when I was here, when I talked about becoming a beacon of light, that was my embedded theme within the everyday sacredness topic. And so my theme today, embedded in the topic about unity in action, is all about becoming an earthly angel. And the best way that I can explain to you about angels is through understanding vibration. And the best way I can explain vibration in a short amount of time, because after today, you guys will realize that I always have a lot to say. So Gary said that we could stay here till 3 o'clock today, right, Gary? No problem. Everybody's got time? Okay, good. So you all know who Marilyn Manson is, right? And everybody knows who Taylor Swift is. So when I tap into the energy of Marilyn Manson, to me, the vibration sounds or feels like this. He matches his vibration by the way that he looks, by his actions in the world, by his music. It all vibrates like this. Taylor Swift, her vibration sounds like, she looks like she sings and like she acts. Her vibration matches her actions and her appearance. Angels, when I hear them in my ear, and maybe some of you do as well, they sound like this. Really, really high. It's a very high, beautiful vibration. So if we want to connect with angels and to connect with all things divine, the easiest way that we can do this is to be able to raise our vibration. When we raise our vibration and surround ourselves, hello, you two. These two are surrounding me with love, hello. When you raise your vibration and you surround yourself with people and things, and you do actions that lift you up and lift up others, you will only raise your vibration. When we raise our vibration, we create a clear connection to the angels. The connection becomes much easier. So if you were an angel up here going, and you're trying to connect with Marilyn Manson, there's a huge, huge gap. If we decrease the gap, that connection with everything that is energy of light and love will be easier to connect with us. So that's the easiest way I can explain that. So when we raise our vibration, we allow ourselves to move deeper into the heart. And when we move deeper into the heart, we create that connection with our angels. And when we create that connection with our angels, we realize that we have big purposes here, that there's not one moment that goes by in time without reason, that everything is divinely guided, and you can already find that out based on today. Like, what were the dots that connected you to come to this service today? Were you maybe not going to come, and then at the last moment you were like, I'm going to go? Or had you been planning on it for a long time because this is the place that makes your heart sing? Whatever you do that is essence of goodness and allows you to do those things that make your heart sing, do them. Follow those. Go that direction. You will always know that you're headed in the right direction when you're doing things that make you feel good. If you're doing anything that makes you feel icky, and I use the word icky because that's the easiest way I can explain when you're doing something that's moving you away from your heart. If you're doing something that feels icky, you're lowering your vibration. If you're doing something that feels good, it's for the good of all humanity. It's for the good of everyone, and that will be good for you as well. So many of the things that I talk about are all contained within the essence of honor, goodness, and love, because that is what angels are all about. And they're all about bringing people together and helping unite hearts. And one of the things that I talk about a lot is creating a project of light. Now, a project of light is anything that is based in those things: goodness, honor, love, inspiration, bringing people together, helping ignite someone's light of their heart, helping someone realize that they're valued here, that they matter, that they are beautiful. Like, everyone is a beautiful soul. I don't care who you've been in the past, what you've done. We all have done similar things because we're all here to learn. But we're all changing. Like, we're all different than we were 5 minutes ago. I am totally different than I was in my 20s. I'm totally different than I was in my 30s. And I'm going to have my Hawaii 5-0 party in September. I'm going to turn 50. And I'm a lot different than I was at 40. So we can allow ourselves to just let ourselves be and go, we're just figuring this stuff out here. And when we can look at other people without judgment and with compassion, we ignite hearts and we light up the world. The easiest thing I can say about a project of light is that anyone can create one. It can be on a grand scale. It can be on a small scale. My project of light today is to light all of you up. That's it. That's my project of light. But there's a simple formula for any project of light, and it goes like this: create a project, focus on love, connect hearts, shine the light, and change the world. If you do those simple elements, I absolutely 100% guarantee that you will change the world. Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Because whenever you have things that are based in goodness and honor and love, the same thing that you reflect out to the world is what will be reflected back to you. Absolutely. There's just no doubt about it. That's just how it works. So as I said before, I absolutely love angels, and I include them with everything I do. And I have life purpose processing sessions with people where I bring in the angels, and we ask people questions of the heart, like, who on earth are you, and what on earth are you doing here? And the questions that are asked of those souls, what comes from the depths of their hearts, are what they want to accomplish and bring forward in this world. The angels of light, for me, are angels that reside in heaven. They are the ones that whisper in our ears that say, go this way, or head down that road instead of this road. Or they flow beautiful people in front of you that light you up just when you needed it most. Like maybe on your darkest day where you were like, I just don't know what's going on here. I'm ready to give up. And all of a sudden, somebody just comes and opens the door for you. Or someone just goes, I love your hair. That's beautiful. You really look nice. Those are earthly angels. Those are people that are here to let us know that we're never left to wander alone. And so angels of light that reside in heaven, they do all that behind the scenes. They do all that, we don't see them, but you can feel them. If you raise your vibration, you can start to feel that they're always with you, always guiding you through the toughest times, through maybe the darkest moments of your life when you don't want to take one more step. You can hear their gentle whisper in your ear going, take one more step. You can make it through this. You got this thing. And when you get through to the light of the other side, you're going to be stronger than ever before, and you're going to bless so many people with the wisdom you have gained by traveling through that experience. We're here to share our stories and to let other people know that, hey, I've been there too. All this stuff that you guys have been going through, some of the craziest things you can imagine, or the things that have ripped your heart out, I've been there too. And we have to be able to travel through these experiences so that we can say to people, I have been there. I mean, how many people have gone to, let's say, a male gynecologist, and the male gynecologist is saying to the woman who's in, labor with incredible pains, and he's saying, you're going to be okay, I know what you're feeling, just breathe through it. You want to go, dude, you haven't been there. But if we've been there, we can help people and go, I can honestly tell you, I have felt your pain, and I'm here to help you. Without any judgment on what you're going through, I just want to open your heart up more, because when we open people's hearts, they can feel their divinity. And when you feel your divinity, you realize the bigger purpose of what we're all doing here. Earthly angels are the same as angels in heaven, because earthly angels work on raising their vibration, and when they come across a soul, just like an angel in heaven does, they stop for time, and time doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're on their way running late to the office, if they see a turtle crossing the middle of the road that's going to get squashed, they stop and pick it up and get it to the other side so it's safe. Or if they see something unjust in front of them, they step forward with love and help illuminate the way for other people so that they can move into their hearts as well. Anytime that we can demonstrate out into the world love, we change the world positively. I know there's a lot of people that believe in heaven or their creator of all that is, and when you transition to the light at the end of life, that you're going to go to heaven. And me too. I'm right with you. I'm there. I absolutely believe it. I think about it all the time, and I think it's going to be incredibly fabulous and grand. I can't wait. But I'm not going to wish my life away. I'm going to enjoy every intentional moment that I have right here, right now. I'm going to be completely present and right here. So if we believe that we're all going to go to heaven or some place that's absolutely beautiful with the colors that are brilliant and stars that are beyond imagination, then why wouldn't we want to experience that right here and now? If we ask our heart that question, why would we wait until the end of the life transition to experience those things that we want to experience in heaven? And then we can peel back another layer of truth by saying, if what is going on here doesn't go on in heaven, why would we do that? Why would we do those things that don't go on in heaven? Why would we do it here? Why would we have things that separate us from each other, separate our hearts, separate us from humanity? And I've had people say to me recently, I can't believe all the stuff that's going on in Israel and Palestine. Why is everyone lobbing bombs and throwing Molotov cocktails and weapons, and why can't they just get along? And my question is to bring it back to us and say, we have war in our office places. We lob knives and bombs at people with the words that we speak sometimes over the boardroom office desk. We have war in our families, where we treat our own family members as we wouldn't imagine treating other people. We have to look at the big picture and say, everything starts with us. If we stop focusing on what everyone else is doing wrong and start focusing on what we are doing right, we change the world because we model our earthly angel behavior in the world. We become the earthly angels that people aspire to be, and they say, what are they doing? What is that person doing? That person is making a difference here. That person's lighting up the planet. I can see it. And we light people up and motivate people with inspiration. That's what angels do as well. So when we begin to connect with angels on the deepest level possible, we really do begin to see with the eyes of the heart. And we want to connect with humanity on the deepest level possible. And every day we strive to become and return to the essence of love while our feet walk upon this earth. We can continue to do this each and every day by taking intentional steps. And when we are going to do an action of any kind, whether you think it's big or small, you will always know you're in alignment if you ask yourself this question. Does this go on in heaven? Does what I'm about to do, does that go on in heaven? Would an earthly angel do that? Would an angel do this? And most times, immediately, you will get your answer flowed right back in, just like that. You can ask yourself, I'm going to steal this car. Would that go on in heaven? No. I'm going to talk really negatively about someone behind their back because I just think that they need to change. Would that go on in heaven? No. So anytime we keep asking our heart, we move deeper into the heart because we realize that we're all here to love each other. Life is all about relationships. And when we realize that life is all about relationships, we realize that one of the ways that we can create heaven on earth is through the pathway of honor. If we are going to become these people that want to create heaven on earth or go to heaven someday, we can say that if we want to be the creators of heaven on earth, then we have to be those people ourselves. That means we must choose to infuse love and honor into each and every experience with each and every soul or creature that comes across our path. Honor is a pathway to the heart and to heaven. And so if you insert honor into any situation, honor and love, I will guarantee you 100% that you will not experience a day of pain in your life. And I want you to just take an example of this in your mind. We're not going to share, but go to, where your angels will pop into your head, one experience where you feel that you've been violated or traumatized or there has been pain inflicted upon you or your family. And when you think of whatever pops into your mind, now go to the place and insert honor and love into that experience. And if honor and love were inserted into that experience, would that experience ever have occurred, or would it have been completely different? And that is how you know that you're receiving divine wisdom, because it's the same wisdom that applies to absolutely everyone. It's a universal law. No one is higher than another, no one is lower than another. We are all on these equal journeys, and if we always insert honor and love into any experience, we will not experience the day of pain. I came across a blog post from a woman named Bronnie Ware about a month or two ago. And it was one of the most powerful blog posts I'd ever read. She was a hospice nurse and had been nursing souls at the end-of-life transition at a hospice center for years. And she wrote a blog post that was called The 5 Regrets of the Dying. Now, the 5 regrets of the dying, she said, are because at the end of life, people realized that they didn't live the life that they wanted to live here. Bronnie said, "People grow a lot when they are faced with their own mortality. I learned never to underestimate someone's capacity for growth. When questioned about if they would do anything differently at the end of their life, there were 5 common themes of regret that surfaced again and again and again and again. She was amazed, so she wrote this blog post that went viral. I'm going to share with you today these 5 regrets, because part of my project of light today is to give you a new lease on life and to give me a new lease on life as well. Because we're all in this together. This is unity in action. Your journeys and my journeys always blend. We are weaving in and out in front of each other's lives all the time. And the reason why we do that is because we're all here, because life is all about relationships. So her first regret that she had written about was about, I wish I had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life that others expected of me. That was regret number 1. Now, as I start this, I'd like you to do just another little exercise. And I want you to, we're all energy, so I want you to all flash forward to the end of your life right now. You're in a hospice bed, in a beautiful room, surrounded by beauty and love, and you can look out the window, and there's perhaps a lake there, and trees, and beautiful birds. So just go to the end of your life just right now for this experience, and imagine that this was one of your regrets. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. This is a life of unfulfilled dreams. This is what happens when someone is born into a family of doctors or scientists, and they say, you've got to be one of us too. We've all been doctors in this family, but perhaps you want to be an artist. Maybe you want to create the most beautiful marble statue that when people come across it, you're expanding their hearts, realizing that they're divine too because of that beautiful gift that you brought to the world. Maybe you just want to be a school teacher, but everyone else in your family are veterinarians, and we're not school teachers here. We work with animals. Whatever your passion of the heart is, that's your soul's journey. That is your dream of the heart that you agreed to bring forth to this earth, and there will be others that step forward in your way to make you stronger and say, you're not going to do that, and that's your choice point to go, well, I'm going to do something that I don't want to do, or it's going to light you up and make you stronger and say, this is what I came here to do. If you do those things that make your heart sing, you will not have a day of regret. Number 2 is, I wish I had never worked so hard. This amazed me. This was a regret of absolutely every male patient that Bronnie Ware nursed. Every single one. They said they got caught up on the treadmill of life, working, churning out work behind the scenes. They felt they had to do it, had to work untold hours. They said to her with tears in their eyes, I missed out on my children's youth. I missed out on connecting with my mate that wanted to just be a part of my life and wanted me to love him or her. I missed out on that. For what? For money and to acquire material things that when you're in your bed at the hospice center, all those are left behind. The things that are remaining is love and relationships. Those souls that are gathered around your bed that you've blessed in some way in your life will be those that gather around your bed in the end. Number 3 was, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. And we've all felt that way as well. Not speaking our truth on something that really was not true. And we allowed an untruth to go pass us by in our presence without having it corrected. All of those things lower our vibration because it's not the truth of us. We are the essence of love. So anytime we extract ourselves or separate ourselves from another and don't allow our voice to be heard with love and compassion, we create regret. Number 4 was, I wish I'd stayed in touch with my friends. And this again, life gets busy. We lose touch with people. We have things that we're supposed to do. But in the end, when you peel back all the layers of life, what remains are those souls that you created memories with, that you blessed in some way with your gift of the heart. Those are the ones that will be with you in the end. Number 5 was an amazing one, which was, I wish I had let myself be happier. I just wish I was happier. This is an amazing regret that we can all correct immediately today. In fact, all of these can be corrected immediately because we are on our own soul's journey. This is our journey. Everyone else has theirs, and we're all weaving in and out of each other's lives. But when we realize that at any moment we can choose to be happy, or we can choose to be sad or sorrowful or actually angry and spiteful or judgmental, we make the choice to create regret in our life, or we make the choice to say, I'm going to have a life filled with brilliant stars. And I'm going to allow myself to open new doors in the heaven to allow new relationships to come in here. I'm going to allow myself to experience happiness, even if everyone around me isn't. I'm going to be that model, that earthly angel that everyone else goes, what is she doing? Why is she happy when everyone else is so miserable here? I want to expand on this for a moment with complete transparency about something that I just went through. When we bless other souls while we're walking this earth and we're earthly angels, we are completely transparent. We are open books. We have nothing to hide. That allows us to have no secrets, nothing to be uncovered. What you see is what you get. And about 2 months ago, I had actually decided finally to say, I'm just going to stop being angry. I did regret number 5. I was like, I'm not going to allow myself to allow others to make me unhappy. I was actually, without realizing it, being angry about the stuff that other people are doing out in the world. Why are people being so mean to each other? I kept thinking, why can't people just get along? Why can't we all just love each other? Why does this have to be seeming so difficult when it's really absolutely so simple? That anything that separates hearts separates us. And so anytime that I view anything where people are being cruel to one another, it was really creating this energy deposit of anger in me, and I didn't realize it at the time. But one day it came in like a freight train. Hello, stop being angry. Just be happy, enjoy your life, and you will be able to help so many other people. That was an absolute divine gift. So 2 weeks after I released that anger and just said, I'm done with it, I'm done, I started getting a spot on my leg. And that spot each day started growing, and it became very red and very large, and then every day, new spots started showing up until they covered absolutely every inch of my body except the places where the light shined. So my face and my neck area and my lower legs did not have this. And I knew this was an amazing metaphor for when you allow the light to shine in on something, you are able to stay healed. When you cover something up with a coat of anger or spite or judgment on something else that someone's doing, it's going to make you sick. To save time, because there's a lot that I want to talk about today, I went on a healing journey, and I decided to heal myself with the light of my heart. And the light of my heart is that I'm deciding to let myself be happy and not be affected by what others are doing. One of the things on my healing journey that I did first, though, was I went to see a couple different people about healing with light. And one of them was I had what's called a thermography done. It's an infrared digital camera scanning of your entire body. And then they have a doctor read it. And the results on that report for me were, your immune system is shutting down. Your liver is shutting down. Your lymph nodes are affected. Your sinuses are affected. Your lungs are shutting down. And what was happening was, I was affecting the major organ in my body, which is my skin. And all that anger, which was red and inflamed, which represents anger, because everything that happens in our bodies is a metaphor for some kind of energy that we're holding on to. That was coming out of my body. It was being released. And so I knew that this was my healing journey of saying, I could just let everything go right now, and you would probably not see me a year or two from now. Or I can say, that is not my story. That is just not even an inkling of my story. Now that I've been illuminated and enlightened, I'm moving forward. And so I began immediately healing with the light of my heart. And I can explain all that later at another time. But everything is returning back to normal without any medication. And I'm not saying that people need to get off medication. I'm saying we need to stop being angry. We need to allow ourselves to not experience those 5 regrets that I mentioned so that we can live. One of the things that I do is I have what's called the Light of Humanity show. And this Light of Humanity show finds earthly angels all over the world doing incredible things. And then I find them and I interview them and I get their story behind their incredible, wonderful story. And one of the women that I came across, her name was Linda Shea. And she is actually a woman who heals with the frequency and energy of dolphins. She's actually a dolphin that lives in the desert in Arizona. But she loves to work with dolphins. And I asked her during this interview, why do you work with dolphins? What are the gifts that they bring to humanity? And she said, they are here to heal our hearts. And once they heal our hearts, we will create unity in the community. Because we cannot heal people and we cannot create community if everyone is so angry. We have to first allow people to expand their hearts and move into their hearts, and then we can create amazing change in the world. I've spoken to Linda Shea and Mary Getton, who's another dolphin healing person, and both of them had said, when people get into the water with whales and dolphins, they cry, they laugh, they feel whole again, because dolphins are angels of the ocean. They have such a high vibration, a high frequency. They heal our bodies with the energy they see in our bodies. They scan where we have energy blockages, and then they heal that with frequency. So all the cells in our body are healed. I asked Linda to share a story with me about someone that she just was really touched by an experience of someone that she healed. And she said that she came across a woman who had regret number 5. I wish I'd let myself be happier. And if you get chills while I tell you the story, just raise your hand and then you can put it down. I'm going to tell a few stories, and if you do, just raise your hand and put it down. It's another way that you can validate that there's a message in there for you or someone else. A woman came to her, and she was ravaged by illness. Every cell in her body was being destroyed, every single cell. She went to healer after healer after healer, and they all said to her, we have taken you as far as we can go. We can't do anything else for you. She went to doctor after doctor after doctor, and they said, we're just going to need to start cutting more things out of you. She knew in her heart, that is not my story. I am not going that direction. And because she stepped forward into the light and made that statement, that defining statement, she ran across Linda Shea, set up an appointment in Arizona, and Linda does healings, long distance or in person. When this woman was on the table with her, she told her story, and she said, I want to be healed. I am done with this. The woman had been sexually abused by her father at age 3. Every cell in her body held on to the anger and pain from that event. It was ravaging her system. And so Linda started the healing, and dolphins heal with vibration, and they also send a message in the light. And the dolphins said to Linda, we are going to need to rewrite her story. We need to start over. So as they were sending healing frequencies to her, they rewrote her story, and with the healing, they said this. And this is the things that they said, they repeated over and over again until every cell in her body recognized that it was rewritten. And they said, I was conceived in love, I was carried in love, I was received in love, I was raised in unconditional love. Over and over again for an hour, they repeated that message to her, and she had multiple sessions. But after that specific day, she called Linda the next day and she said, Linda, I had my life review last night. It was amazing. I woke up this morning, and it's not like the trauma didn't happen. It's not like that was erased. There just is no negative charge with that event anymore. She said to her, I now see everything through the lens of love and compassion. I can be an observer instead of being in something and so angry. We all have stories like this. They're all part of our journeys to help us move through that. If we don't get stuck in it and we can move through anything that's happened to us, we become the earthly angels that change the world. I want to tell you another story I came across about a little girl who was born in China, and in China, you only have 2 children. If you have more than 2 children, there becomes a problem for the government. They don't like anyone to have more than 2. This little girl was left on the street as a baby, 6 weeks old, and someone found her and they brought her to an adoption center, and she ended up being adopted out into the United States. Now, those souls that gave up that child and left her on the street, I'm sure they were desperate. But I'm sure they will also experience all 5 of those regrets at the end of their life. Sometimes we have to step forward and say, that's not my story. Just because you, whatever government or whatever group has created something, I, as an earthly angel, am going to step forth for humanity and say, that is not my story. You will not control what being of light that I bring into this world. That little girl was adopted to a family in Kansas. She was so beautiful, they named her Eden because they said she reminded her of paradise. On the other side of town, a dog was starving on a porch in Kansas, abandoned by its owners, left to starve to death. A woman named Maureen, who started her project of light to save animals, got a call and saved this dog. When she saw him, she said, someone is going to love you someday. I'm going to heal you, and you will be new. The woman on the other side of town that adopted this beautiful baby girl, who is now 6 or 7 years old, at 3 years old, she had started experiencing night terrors, feelings of being abandoned. She would not allow anyone to leave her presence, not for a moment. The family was at their wits' end. They didn't know what to do. The little girl had kept saying for years, I just want a dog. I'm wishing upon the stars for a dog. The family tried everything, every therapist, everything, until they surrendered to their heart and realized that perhaps what this little girl is asking for was the key to unlock her heart and allow a miracle to be opened up in the stars for her. They surrendered, and it opened up a door in the stars. Maureen and the little girl's mom united together, and the dog and the little girl were reunited. While they were in the backyard, the mom and Maureen, so the Project of Light dog rescuer and the child rescuer, were talking. And the mom explained to Maureen, she blessed her with the story about what the little girl went through. And as the 2 women sat crying in the backyard, they realized that they are changing the world, 1 dog and 1 little girl at a time. As the women finished talking and crying, they heard the little girl say this. The dog's name was Marvin, and she said, "It's okay, Marvin. I got left behind too once, but sometimes God does that so you can end up in the family that you're supposed to be in. We've all heard of the Disney Fast Pass. Sometimes our soul designs us to be in a situation that's going to fast track us into exactly the family or the existence or the situation that we need to be in. And we might need, did you get chills? Awesome. And we might need to walk through fire to get to the light on the other side. Our walks through fire, we will not get burned if we allow ourselves to honor our journey through that walk. When we can move through any experience, it is when we can draw on the inner strength of the light within us. It gives us the power to say, I got this. It gives us the power to say, you got this. That's what angels do. We can whisper in someone's ear or we can shout it from the highest rooftops. I have faith in everybody. Every person can change. And when we do, we come out the other side. And when we do, we create something from what we created back there with our pain. So whether you've been a drug addict, you might create the most inspirational rehabilitation center in the world. So there is no drug addict that I'm ever going to look at and go, there's no hope for that person. They might change the world with what they walk through. Every single person has a story, and every single person has the opportunity to bless another person. I want to talk about being an earthly angel out in the world and what this looks like then, so that we don't have any of those 5 regrets, that we are on our transition to the light bed and we are like, I got this one. This was the greatest journey ever, and I know what heaven's like because I've been living it while I'm walking it every single day here. We can create projects and products of light, just like those women did, saving a dog, saving a girl, Linda Shea, saving souls from peace of mind with healing with dolphins. We can do that. And we can be earthly angels that deliver messages of light, just like the dolphins did, by saying, you were conceived in love. You are raised in love. I love you. We can make sure that any words that are leaving our lips are those that are the essence of love. And if they aren't, ask your angels to stop your speech. They will. Ask your angels to slow your speaking down so you can be more intentional with what you say. And if you happen to allow something to slip from your lips that is cruel or unkind or dishonorable, clean it up, and then you clean up any regret regarding that, and there's no energy blockage. You got that, you're all set. We can actually be reflecting pools of light, and this means when a soul looks into our eyes, they see the light of heaven reflected back to them. Eileen Kane has souls that are reflecting pools. When you get done here, look in her eyes. A soul, we can be these souls that feel the light of our heart when they're in our presence, that they remember their divinity when they're with us. We can help them reconnect. We can be custodians of light, and this means that we are in charge of those thoughts that run through the hallways of our mind, and anytime a negative thought pops in about someone else or ourselves, we stop and end that immediately because that is not the truth of you or anyone else. So anytime a negative thought pops in, tell it to be gone and send light to it so you transmute it to love. And we can listen with our heart, and what this means is that we don't have then regret number 2, which was, I wish I'd worked so hard, or I wish I'd stayed in touch with people more. When we are working too hard, when we're moving too fast, someone might be telling us a message of their heart, and we're not stopping long enough to hear it. So when we listen with our heart, our angels in our heart will always connect at the same time, and we will allow time to stand still for a moment so another soul's voice can be heard, and that soul, on a soul level, can know that we really cared about what they had to say. We all have experienced that where you're saying something and then the person goes, what'd you say? I didn't really hear you. That creates regret in both people because the person that happened to didn't say, I need to tell you again so you can hear what I had to say. And the person that didn't take the time to listen will have regret because it's one of those things where you're not creating a memory for someone or blessing another soul. When we come across an accident, we can send light and love, not fear. If we even come across a fatality on the highway, we can send in the angels and ask them to wrap their arms around that soul so they send them to the ethers with love. We can send someone love, not fear or sorrow. Most people come across an accident scene and think, I'm glad that wasn't me. Thank goodness it was them. Oh my gosh, that's probably horrible. Instead, fire up the light of your heart and send them love and just send it with a message and say, you will be all right. We are connected. You are loved. It takes 2 seconds. When you see an ambulance or a police car driving by, and let's just say someone got arrested and they were doing something incredibly cruel and mean to someone, people would say, why would you send somebody like that, love? There's just no way I'm doing that. And I want you all to really hear this in your heart. When we open up and expand people's hearts and let them feel the light of our heart, we change the world, because that person riding in the back of a police car, the sooner they awaken, the quicker they bring their gifts to the earth, and then they bring forth connection with other souls as well. So everybody wins. As we're wrapping up, I wanted to give you a couple tools and tips about earthly angels. And one of the things that you can do is know right off the bat, if you're ever in doubt as to which direction you should go at any time, go in the direction of goodness, honor, and love, and you will always know you're headed in the right direction. There will be no doubt. And there will be no doubt in your heart. There won't be any icky feeling about, oh, should I do this? And everybody else is doing it. If it doesn't feel right to you, it's not right for anybody. So we can identify earthly angels by their actions, and here are some very easy ways. Earthly angels call everyone brothers and sisters, because when we transition to the light, we're all brothers and sisters in the light. So why wouldn't we allow people to realize that connection while they're here? Earthly angels are professional yielders, and this means they allow other people into their lane of traffic. It doesn't matter. You're not in a hurry. You'll get there exactly at the divine time that you're supposed to be there. Earthly angels allow people in front of them in the line at the grocery store without rolling your eyes. And they hold the door open for everybody, always. These little intentional acts are the things that illuminate other souls on their darkest day. What if you were just having the worst day ever, and someone just said, go ahead in front of me in traffic? That little act of kindness can change your direction that day. I want to help everyone remember their divinity with these simple truths. Every moment is sacred. Every breath is a gift of love from the universe. Everything that we experience here is divinely guided. Every encounter with another soul or creature creates a relationship. Every single thing. And every time we insert honor, we shall always take out the pain. And every obstacle that is placed before us provides an opportunity for us to overcome something and come out the other side stronger, wiser, and better than before. We can model earthly angel behavior. We can demonstrate it by just being us. We can teach it, and we can always show gratitude to another that helps us with something, because earthly angels like to be thanked as well. So I really hope that all of you would never doubt for one moment that one person is not powerful enough to change the world, because the truth is, it has always begun this way. with one heart, one vision, one light. And I hope that after what I've said to you all today, that you would want to become earthly angels too. And that you would want to connect with the light of your heart, and that you will begin to feel that sweet touch of your earthly angel wings, which rest like gentle feathers on your sacred back, because they're there. You just have to be willing to start feeling and hearing and seeing, and you'll be able to experience all of that. The sun comes up every day in our lives, every single day, and we trust it, that it's going to be there and it's going to be brilliant, and the rays are going to shine down upon us. And even if we can't see it because there's a cloud in front of it, or even if it's raining, we absolutely know 100% that it's coming out tomorrow and it's still there today. And we can be that beacon of light, that ray of light, that pillar of light for other people when they can't be that for themselves. That's what earthly angels do. They're the redwood tree that sends their roots deep into the ground, that just knows when someone's going through a difficult time, they're going to make it through. And you're going to be their cheerleader, because that's what angels do. They're inspiring cheerleaders. So, my name is Molly Friedenfeld, and I have a website, mollyfriedenfeld.com. I have online angel courses that connect people with angels. I do life purpose processing sessions to help you find out why it is you came here and why your feet are walking on this earth. I have a radio show named The Light of Humanity, and I also have another website called violetwisdom.com, which is a project of light of mine that is a directory of all things of goodness. You will only find inspiration and honor and goodness on any of those two websites that I've mentioned, and you will be able to find other people that are doing these wonderful things in the world as well. So I really am honored that all of you have listened to what I had to say intentionally today. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I'm going to just do a very quick and easy visualization that will allow everyone in moments, you can do this anytime, to just stay in your joy and choose to be happy. So if everyone would just close their eyes for a moment. And I want you to all travel to any dirt road that you would love to go to in your mind. But the thing that's different about this dirt road is that it is lined with sunflowers, with the flowers that are big as dinner plates, and they are beautiful, and you can smell the buttery, beautiful fragrance that's being emitted from these flowers and the joy that you feel from their sunny energy. And I want you to just imagine that there is a black ball that's the size of a soccer ball by your foot. And imagine that ball represents negativity, and you are going to be in charge of your happiness. So I want you to turn and face that ball and send a beacon of light from your heart that's contained with the message, and it can be whatever you want, or you can just send a message in the light with love that says, I clear all negativity from all of the cells of my body, and begin to now turn and intentionally walk down this dirt road. And as you walk, the sunflowers get bigger and brighter, and you are getting brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter. And you can walk for a while if you want until you feel better, or you might feel better instantly, and all you have to do now is turn in the direction of that ball you left behind and find yourself amazed how far you have traveled on that road of light. And do not leave that ball unattended. Send it more light and imagine wrapping it in more love, and it is then exploded into a million pieces of light. You are in charge of your happiness and your journey. You are a powerful soul. Thank you so much for being here today. Woo!